which leads very much into my next question and comment here. A quick search online or YouTube or Google will yield so many results for the worst exercise for diastasis, the best exercises, the best 5 exercises, the no-no exercises, the safe ones, the unsafe ones, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love that you're changing the narrative on that and just proclaiming that there are no bad exercises for DRA. There are no best exercises. And in fact, you had wrote, there are in fact no even specific diastasis exercises, right? And I know this might blow some people's minds thinking, whoa, how can there not be specific diastasis exercises, right? So tell us, how is this possible and why core healing exercises are so, I guess, very specific to the individual?
Okay, yeah, what an amazing question. So when you think of what the linea alba is, it is a piece of connective tissue. So connective tissue by nature, it's non-contractile. So it is not able to contract itself. If we had a muscle, let's say like the biceps, and there was a weakness there or an injury or something there, we would work on the muscle because we know we can strengthen that muscle. But the biceps has a tendon. So let's say if there was maybe an injury or a strain or a sprain to the tendon itself. Well, if there was some kind of injury to the tendon itself, then what we would do is we would work the muscle associated with it.
Right.
And so when we know that the contractile element the contractile element is what we use to influence the non-contractile element, then what we do and apply that to the abdominal wall, then what we're looking to do is work the abdominal muscles that attach onto the linea alba. So knowing that the linea alba can't do very much for itself, it relies on the influence of the muscles around it.
Right.
And so the muscles around it are all of the abdominal muscles, all of them. So they all have the potential to influence the linea alba.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're going online and we're seeing do these specific exercises or don't do these specific exercises, there's a misunderstanding there that we can actually do something that will specifically create a change in the linea alba over a period of time if we continually do that. Because really, the linea alba, when you look at it under a microscope, it is actually formed by layers and layers of connective tissue, and that those connective tissue layers again are from the muscles beside it. And so when the muscles contract, they will spread some of that load into the linea alba.
Right.
So if one contracts this way, it's going to kind of produce a bit of tension, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. It'll produce some sort of tension or loading into the linea alba through that contraction. But the muscles of the abdomen don't work by themselves. They don't work in isolation. So usually in real life, just in that example you provided where you're reaching back to give your baby a pacifier, in that moment we've got several muscles working at the same time, which means the linea alba is receiving influence from several muscles at the same time.
Right.
So what we're doing is we are using all of the muscles. So therefore, any exercise that uses the muscles is beneficial for promoting change in the linea alba. It's not that one is better than the other. They're all good. None of them are bad. None of them are amazing. They're neutral. They all have fair ability to influence change, but now it just comes down to, are you doing enough? Are we using those muscles enough to really create that change? Because I feel like most people kind of get stuck in the very gentle exercises, which isn't really enough of an input to create that stress response in the tissue that then creates that adaptation.
Exactly.
So all of the exercises, all core exercises are good core exercises and are also fair game to help improve the diastasis as well.
I always like to say that there's no off-limit exercises, but it might not be right for you just yet. Maybe in a few weeks, maybe in a couple months, but not yet. which leads me to just closing here. Can you tell us the free offer that you have for moms? And I believe it has something to do with these top things you might be doing if you're not progressing in your diastasis.
Yes, exactly. So it's the top 10 reasons why your diastasis may not be getting better and what to do about it.
Right.
And so it's a free guide where I go through some of the common roadblocks that people experience and some of the reasons why they hit a plateau. And what I can say is, for most of the people that I'm seeing, it's generally that they're not doing enough.
Mm,
And there's a whole reason behind that. Of course, there's a lot of fear. They're not doing enough because they may be told not to do things, and so they're holding themselves back, um, or they just don't know how. They may not be exercisers, so
right.
there's like they're not familiar with exercising.
Hmm.
But it seems like we're not doing enough, and so if we start adding more load, more exercising, more challenging exercises, then we can potentially start seeing those changes start to take place after that. So if
Right.
you're not seeing a lot of change, let's look at your exercise program. It's one piece of the whole puzzle,
Hmm.
but it is an important piece of that conservative management. So let's see if you're actually progressing yourself or if you're just doing heel slides and bridges and clamshells.
Right. Okay. And I'll put the link down in the description box so everybody can click and get that for free.
Perfect.
Can you tell us where to find you? I'm going to have your Instagram here, but tell us what courses you have to offer fitness professionals like myself, as well as moms.
Oh, okay, amazing. Yeah, so I definitely work with moms with diastasis, and I definitely do help professionals understand the condition and try to help them through it as well. So if you are a fitness or a rehab professional, I do have a full course on diastasis that pretty much gives you kind of the A to Z about the condition. And a lot of the uncertainty around exercise and what you can do and what you shouldn't do, and there's a lot of that even within the professionals
Hmm.
themselves. So what my course does is it kind of debunks it all and gives you a lot of the research behind it and just explains it in a very simplistic way and gives you an example of how to do exercises with your clients, like a progression. So that way you kind of have it laid out for you and you can take it from there, and you won't have as much fear and bring that to the table.
Right.
You'll bring more empowerment. And then if you are a mom that has diastasis and you're just kind of looking for ways to progress your core, that's what I created the program for moms. It's for that specific reason. Is I just didn't think people were going far enough. So I created a program that teaches them how to progress their exercises if they're kind of in that stuck doing the gentle contractions and coordinating and working on just posture, and there's more to it. So if
Right.
you're looking, what else can I do? That's what the program is for.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll put that in the links down below. And Munira, can you share us your website so we know where to find you?
Sure. It's www.munirahudanipT.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for helping us to distill that research and getting what is really going on and what we need to be continuing to do. So thank you so much for all you do for us, fitness professionals, as well as moms out there.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.